example, whenever a woman decides, I want to be something a bit more than the definitions that have been given to us, many people refuse to accept it. Let's take politics, for example. A woman says, oh, I want to be a senator. One of the first things that will come out is she's called an ashawo. And this is very common. In fact, there is a documentary called A Double Minority that was done about all of the female aspirants for political office. And the first thing is, what is she trying to do? Because women are perceived, if you want to be a politician, something has to be wrong with you, right? And that's one thing that pop culture has done. Then you have in schools, in offices, people think women are not deserving of leadership roles. It's why I was at an event, an intergenerational dialogue, and one of the conversations that was happening was that most law schools graduate more women, right, than men. However, almost all of the leadership positions in law, whether it's in private practice, in public practice, as judges and what have you, are led by men. That you see women drop off as they advance in their career because of some of these beliefs that are reinforced by the things that we have made known. Then you look at the family where, for example, they say, oh, a man is supposed to provide, and all our films reinforce this. Say the man is the provider. Provide. If you're not a provider, if you are Charles Okafor, as a man who is poor and trying to get Patience Ozoko's daughter, who is there will always be somebody who will stand against you. And in modern day, if you are in 50 the series, right, and you don't have as much money as Ireti Doyle's character, something you're just not there. So it reinforces all of these things, meaning that women can be abused. Because gender-based violence is a two-way street. On the women's side, it sees us as objects. And so when abuse is done to us, some people don't take it seriously because they don't see us as fully human, right? They only see us as that object that we have been defined as, either as sexual objects, as the Madonna, as the mother, or as the wife. So they don't see us outside of these definitions that they've given to us. On the flip side, when we talk about broke shaming of men, it's mostly for men. Because even when they broke shame women, they always say, oh, a man can fix this. But when they broke shame men, it's that a failing. It's supposed to be a failing of men. And yes, we all want to have money. We all want to be rich and live the nice lives. But on the flip side is that there is violence towards men who do not have money. I'm not saying physical violence now, emotional violence. It's why a lot of men think that if I am broke, I cannot get any girl. In fact, there is a popular saying that the man who dates you when he's broke doesn't really like you. It's the person he dates when he's rich that he really likes. And it was reinforced also by another film, To Kill a Monkey, one of the most popular films that came out this year. A very broke man, right? What's his name? Efe, right? And then Efe finds and then he meets Obos the boss, and Obos the boss gets all of the respect, right?
Doesn't this also affect women, when it comes to broke shaming? Because again, there are not enough rich men to go around. So what happens when a woman is financially stable or even rich or successful, and she's with a man who earns less than that? Doesn't that make it harder for her to date? Because
you hit the nail so on the head
all the time.
Broke shaming affects women too, and to a degree even more. And this is my belief. Have you seen those conversations on Twitter that says, oh, if your wife is earning 500,000 and you're earning 100,000, who should resign? Have you not seen those conversations?
On X, They're
very primitive.
So now these conversations are saying that regardless, and it comes back to the very first question you asked me about gender norms. Once you believe that a woman should behave a certain way, you are not saying, okay, you who is earning more should submit even if someone is earning less than you. And it's broke shaming of the person who she's with, yes, but it's putting pressure on her that if you must be with this person, you must come to his level in order for you to be validated as a human being. So when I always talk about how the patriarchy, gender-based violence is a two-edged sword that's facing everybody, right? People think, oh no, we're exaggerating. It affects all of us. There's also the fact that a lot of women who are not, who do not have money and who marry rich, we see it in the movies too. We see it in the music videos. You can marry rich, and if maybe the person upgrades your life, it means the person can control your life. That's what we have seen. If someone supposedly gives you the world, and there was a lady on young famous and African, Tiny, who is from South Africa. She had talked about, because they had asked her during one interview, oh, you only date rich people and what have you, and she goes, yes, because I want a good life. But on paper it looks like a good life, but it's not really so. And she talked about the domestic violence she faced, the abuse she faced, the loss of money, the loss of identity, and all of that. So it is always a two-way street. It's never that one person is benefiting. Everybody suffers with this system. So that is why we must address it, and we must use pop culture to do that thing.